Hey ghosties, today I have 8 Reddit stories, all from the same user. Here is all of my social media. This is actually my 3rd video with a new intro and outro, and I just want to know how everyone is feeling about it. I will have a vlog out next Tuesday where I go and I get my new phone and we do 3 bucket list items, so definitely keep an eye out for that vlog. Oh, and the day that this will be uploaded, I will be streaming later on in the day, and I will be making a cake, and then I will be posting that vlog on September 9th. Because I appreciate all of you for 500 subs, and now I am finally making that cake. Subscribe if you would like to join my cemetery of ghosts. It means the world to me. Now let's get into the whole reason you guys came here, the spooky stories. All of these stories come from Reddit user standard/debate/9307. Story 1. The moving janitorial cart. This just happened about a half hour ago. I work in a hospital as security, my shifts being 12 hours overnight on weekends when less staff are here. There's been stories about hauntings, and I've seen some stuff through cameras and in the property's secondary building, historical building built in the late 1800s, but I've never had this happen in the main hospital. I was in the basement with a housekeeper, and we were just chatting, shooting the breeze and whatnot. Now, for context, the tunnel connecting the main building to the secondary is down here as well as the morgue. And a very important detail, the lights down here are motion activated. Anyway, while I and the housekeeper were just hanging out for a moment, we heard the sound of a janitorial cart moving in the tunnel hallway. Not uncommon, as housekeeping is here until midnight or 11 p.m. The housekeeper said, "Oh, that must be the supervisor." We peeked around the corner into the tunnel hallway and the lights were off. Very strange. Being security, obviously, I have to go check it out. I stepped into the hallway and the lights came on. There, in the center of the hallway, was the janitorial cart, unattended. The housekeeper freaked out. This specific janitorial cart has supplies needed for waxing floors on it, and only surfaces maybe once or twice a month, and is supposed to be against the wall besides the housekeeping building. Instantly, we get goosebumps. The hairs on our arms and back of our neck are standing. Housekeeper nopes the heck out of there, leaving me standing there, staring at this cart. After a moment, I went back to my office and told my partner about it, knowing he'd get a kick out of it. My partner tells me, "Oh, we had a code blue during the day that ended up in a morgue admit." I wish I could say I'm used to these things happening, but it always scares me. I think that is so interesting, like the hospital stories. Can I ramble about something real quick before I read the second story? There is a Spirit Halloween opening in my town, and I am so excited to get so many vlogs there. I love Spirit Halloween with my whole soul. Story 2 is titled, "I Think Something Came Home With Me." Hello again, second post, woohoo! If you read my first one on here, I do say that I work security in an old hospital that is most definitely haunted. I think one of the residing spirits attached itself and followed me home. I usually do my patrols towards the middle of my shift, just to give myself the halfway feeling. My patrols include the closed wings of the hospital, the floors above one, only ground and first floors are open, the parking garage, and the historic building. The historic building is from minor times, one of the first hospitals built in the state. Think we're waiting for it to collapse age. Lots and lots of history. Also, lots and lots of unsettling feelings. So, last night, I'm doing my patrol in the historic building, twisting doorknobs and handles to make sure they're locked, and I get this funny feeling in the back of my mind, like I'm being watched. Not the first time, but this time it's different. The feeling lingered, even when I'm returning to the security office and doing my nightly checks in the ER and ICU. Even when I left to go home, the feeling was there. I got home, changed out of my uniform, and just kind of lounged in bed. I'm alone, except for my dog, as my boyfriend was at work. We have nightstands with LED lights that we can program to automatically turn on when you're within 3 feet of the sensor. My boyfriend's nightstand lights turned on the opposite side of the bed from me. My dog is laying on her little cot bed at the foot of the bed, but she's staring at the nightstand with her ears on. For those who own shepherd dogs, you're probably familiar with how they usually keep their ears down unless they're focused on something. The feeling is still there. I'm spooked, so I get up and go into the living room to mess around on my Xbox. Kind of make some noise. My dog is a Velcro dog, but she didn't follow me. Odd, after 15 minutes of just Xbox noise, I hear my dog whimper from the bedroom. I went in to check on her, and she's pointing at my boyfriend's nightstand. The fur on her back is up. Flash forward to 1600, my boyfriend comes home. We say, "Hi, how was your day/night?" and he goes into the bedroom. Why is our nightstand on? Both nightstands were lit up. As of right now, they're periodically turning on and off. Never happened before, and we've had them for about 6 months now. If it was a defect or malfunction, this would have started sooner. So yeah, it's no longer the 3 of us. And with that, let's just get right into the third story. This one is titled "Whistling at Night Coming from the Historic Building." I've got another spine-tingling event. Just finished a routine patrol, and I'm outside of the historic building on the property. It's 4:15 and still dark outside. Nothing happened inside the historic building, much to my relief, and there's whistling coming from a room on an upper floor of the building. Oh boy, is my heart pounding. I know nighttime whistling can mean a bunch of different things, many of them not good. I know this building's haunted, and I know what room it's coming from. I already cleared the building, that room being one of the areas I checked. It's known for homeless trespassers looking for shelter. Alarms are active, and none are going off. I know it's not a living person. I think I'll leave it for the day shift officer. I'm too yellow-bellied to go in there again. I don't scare easily, but that building is worse than any movie I've seen. The dumb part of me almost whistled back, but my unseen friend at home taught me to know better. Anyway, back to my office I go, where I'm going to watch a movie and take my mind off of it. I don't usually read too many hospital horror stories, and working night shift security sounds so much more horrifying than just working at a hospital. The camera sees what the eyes don't. Another spooky story from the hospital. During my shift, I often give the hospital operator their breaks because they have access to the cameras, kind of an eyes to the sky situation. Tonight/last night, I was doing my routine break for them, just kind of letting my eyes wander across the plethora of small squares that show the active floors, when I saw something odd. A black, pitch black figure walked left to right across one of the squares. Now, this particular area in view of this certain camera is the ICU junction, a T intersection. On the left is the ICU entrance. On the right is the private elevator that goes between the first floor, the ground floor, and the basement where the morgue is. At first, I wasn't too concerned. The lights dim during the night, maybe it's very shadowy there. Then an ICU staff I'd consider a friend walked into view. Shadowy, but not black. He never looked up from his phone, but he's the kind of staff who's aware of everything around him. Kind of security's unofficial backup. So, if he didn't react, what did I see? The elevator doors never opened. Badge read only access. If it were a discharged patient/visitor, they would have come back into view and gone down the hall towards either the main elevator or the main entrance. Sometimes cameras are better at seeing things than human eyes are, and I wish I hadn't seen this. This is story 5, and it is titled "Something Was in the Chapel." Hey y'all, back at it with supernatural, I think, shenanigans. So last night and tonight, a couple areas of asphalt are being slurried, retarring the asphalt. Last night was the ER driveway and ambulance bay. Because of this, ambulances were required to come in via the upstairs main entrance. Being security, I was posted at the main lobby desk to assist EMS and other potential patients/guests to the ER. For context, I was alone. Staffing sucks, especially my department. The main entrance is right next to the chapel, and at the end of the hall, opposite the main hallway, is the lower rooms of the chapel, where priests and later OBGYN doctors would stay overnight. That's a whole other creepy area I have stories about. The chapel is a historic building that's connected to the modern hospital, built in 18-something. It's closed to the public because of an earthquake a few years back caused damage and the risk of the balcony detaching and collapsing. Only security, maintenance, and a few choice admins are allowed access. Anywho, I'm chilling at the desk, stupidly watching Tragic Tales, Abyssal Detective, and the occasional The Paranormal Files, because I'm a very disturbed person. It's roughly 3:34, and there hasn't been another soul in sight for a good hour or two. I heard tapping coming from the hallway toward the chapel. Now this could have been anything. I'm seated beside a decorative water feature. The air circulation system isn't the quietest, and from somewhere within the gift shop/pharmacy and coffee shop is a beep from an alarm system. But this was distinct tapping, like someone impatiently tapping their foot. It wasn't consistent, maybe 2 or 3 taps every few seconds. Then there was this rustling of papers. This is what pulled me away from my not-so-comfy chair. I rounded the corner, ready to throw hands, and found nobody. Absolutely nothing. I went back to the desk, but I was feeling too restless to sit, so I went out for a smoke break. I didn't want to go far from the entrance, so I sat on a bench in the little brick patio area. Out of sheer stupid curiosity, I shined my flashlight up to the top window of the chapel, the stained glass ones that are where the services used to be held. My flashlight is maybe a little dimmer than the sun. I can seriously blind someone with it on its highest setting. Nothing unusual, just the ornate panels depicting the apostles or whoever they are. I'm not religious anymore, definitely know nothing about Catholicism. I moved my beam to the back windows where the small corridor is, behind the podium, the little area that has the hazardously narrow staircase leading down to the lower floor, and I saw movement. A shadow, but definitely human-shaped. Great. Now I have to go inspect it. I've encountered homeless people who've entered through the crawl space below the chapel, so there was no way in hell I was going alone. I called my big bro in ICU who loves getting involved with security affairs. Big dude, 6'2", maybe. Somewhere between 200 to 220 pounds, of very little fat and mainly muscle. Instant yes, he wants to meet in the main lobby. We go into the chapel through the lower floor to walk through the rooms and exit through the congregation area. We don't find anything in the lower area. As we're walking through the rows of pews upstairs, we both start to notice something. Fresh prints in the distance on the pews, like butt cheeks and handprints. Then we hear the tapping. It's a bit muffled. The floor has thin carpeting on it, but it's enough to scare even Big Bro. We leave immediately, and I lock the doors behind us. I've never seen Big Bro scared like that. He's usually so gung-ho about stuff. I don't think I'll ever go in there by myself again, and I highly doubt Big Bro will return even in daylight. I really wish I could post pics, but sadly I cannot. They were very distinct. Thankfully, last night is the only night I had to be up in the main lobby. I think I'll spend tonight in the ER where my worst fears are getting beaten up by drunks and druggies. This is story 6, and it is titled, Not Even the Deceased Rest, I Suppose. This one isn't really spooky, more odd, unusual. While on my patrol, about an hour ago, I was outside and spied a light on in the historic building. Oh goody, I called my partner on the radio and we met up at the back door of the building. This is the only way I can get him to go inside the building. We venture in and go up the side elevator to the 5th floor. The main elevator has been down for 2 years. It's older and needs special work done. This floor, the 5th floor, is the floor where I had my first experience. I shall write that in another post. And there's unconfirmed rumors that a nun fell to her death in the stairwell from this floor to the first. Really spooky vibes. Anyway, we reach the room with the light on, 501, a room I am well familiar with. My partner, being the chivalrous, brave officer he is, insisted I go first. I opened the door and deactivated the alarm. This room is pretty spacious. There's 6 rooms within the one room, like a sub-office, mainly filled with filing cabinets with documents, records, and reports from before the 1990s. All the drawers are closed. My partner came in behind me and we start clearing the room, moving from space to space, looking beneath old desks and behind old equipment to see in hiding spots. Nobody found, no reason to worry. A medical records, staff probably just forgot about the lights. It happens a lot. I think the staff enjoy trying to freak out security. My partner and I return to the area we came in at, and it's changed. There's a weird silence, and the filing cabinet drawers... Sorry, let me rephrase that. Every drawer in the room was open. No sounds were made other than my partner and I. No other footsteps. No other voices, no filing cabinet sounds. We decided if there was someone in the room, they could have it for the night. As we were leaving, our backs were to the cabinets and a drawer shut. Not normal shut, but slammed. As if whoever was looking in the drawer was frustrated they didn't find what they wanted. I've never seen my partner move faster than a jog until the night. P.S. I haven't gone through the chapel again. For those wanting an update on my tippy taps, I'm taking a smoke break to calm my nerves. Then I'll go. And this one is an update about the chapel. As asked, I returned to the chapel. I started in the congregation area, walking towards the front. Still creepy as ever. The prints from last night are still there. No new prints, though. I peeked in the preparation room. And holy hell, it's hot in there. Just a small kitchen. I did scare myself when I saw the father's black robe hanging behind the door. I left the prep room and walked across to the opposite door, going behind the altar. This door leads to the staircase and the small wraparound that leads to the prep room. Parts of the ceiling and wall have rotted away, and I'm pretty sure I'm 3 pounds away from going through the floor. I descended the stairs, very narrow with a switchback and very dark, and came out in the lower half. To the left are the showers, to the right is the short hallway, 3 rooms on each side, and a small lounge area at the end. These rooms are pretty much untouched. There's a bed, a nightstand, and a desk in each of the 6 rooms. It looks like the people just vanished in the middle of the night. Parts of the floor, walls, and ceiling are deteriorating due to heat, moisture, and disrepair. One room, the last one on the right, I guess has a plan. It's been cleared out during the day, so it was a new sight for me. All except one black folding chair right in the center of the room. Out of curiosity, I touched it. I don't know why. Maybe my need to touch things expands beyond blankets and towels in store. If you know, you know. Remember how I mentioned heat and moisture? Yeah, not the chair. Ice cold and bone dry. Now, I already don't like it down here, and I don't know why, but this chair made all the hair on my arms and neck stand. Kind of like that feeling you get when someone is right behind you, but you can't see them. I left quick, fast, and in a hurry. Sorry if this isn't the update you want. Nothing too spine-tingling or scary. But trust me, if I could do videos, I would. Words don't do this place justice, not even mine. I want to go ghost hunting here so bad. It sounds so creepy. Story 8. This is the last story, and this one is titled Strange Wailing / Growling Sound. Hello, fellow people. I am back. Was away for my mom's birthday. Took the whole weekend off last week. But work never fails to bring the spooks. As per usual, I'm alone on the warm summer Saturday night. This means I have to patrol with no backup again. Anyway, I was wandering around the northeast section of the block, trying desperately to stay awake. And just a side note, there's very little lighting. The shadows are thick. I was relying heavily on my flashlight. As I rounded the corner on the sidewalk, I stopped for a moment to listen to radio chatter between the ED and ICU when this weird wail / growl sound started. It started low, then rose to a high pitch. I can't say it was an animal, though there have been a couple far-spaced reports about cougars. I've never heard a cougar sound like this. My first thought was maybe it's an ETOH or someone flying a bit too high, but that growling undertone, yeah. It was off property, so while I could have gone to investigate, I'd have been 100% on my own, so I for sure wasn't going to cross the road. But if the sound comes closer, I'd have my friction baton at the ready. I will do a part 2 if these people post a lot more stories because I am enjoying all the hospital abandoned spookiness. If you guys have your own stories that you would like to submit, I have my own subreddit where you can post your stories and I will read any stories submitted there. It is r/ConjuredJasper. And after you watch this video, I will probably be streaming in a few hours. So please go subscribe to my Twitch, twitch.tv/ConjuredJasper. Please like this video. Please comment down below what you would like to see in the future. And please subscribe to me. It means so much to me. And share with a friend that you know likes spooky stuff and Halloween because I'm trying to create the coolest community of spooky people out there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, ghosties. Stay spooky.